Have you ever wondered where your favorite TV shows come from? It's a big question with a simple answer. They often start at a special place called a flagship station. Think of a big fleet of ships. There's always one ship that leads the way. It's the most important one, the one that carries the admiral. That lead ship is called the flagship. In the world of television, a flagship station works in a very similar way. It's the most important station in a television network. This station is often the one owned and operated by the network itself, serving as its main broadcast hub and setting the standard for all the others. A flagship station is usually located in a very big and important city. This is not a coincidence. These cities are often the largest media markets in the country, meaning they have the most viewers. Because so many people are watching, these stations are incredibly valuable. In the United States, the story of flagship stations begins in two iconic cities, New York and Los Angeles. These cities became the dual hearts of American television. From the very early days, the big networks ABC, CBS, and NBC knew they needed a powerful presence on both coasts. New York City was the center of business, advertising, and live theater, making it the perfect home for network headquarters and national news divisions. On the other side of the country, Los Angeles was the undisputed capital of entertainment. Hollywood was already the home of the movie industry, with vast studios, talented actors, and expert production crews. The East Coast flagship stations like WABC-TV, WCBS-TV, and WNBC in New York were born from this energy. They were responsible for broadcasting the morning news and late-night talk shows that became American staples. The West Coast flagship stations, KABC-TV, KCBS-TV, and KNBC in Los Angeles, became the primary centers for producing primetime dramas, sitcoms, and game shows. When the Fox Broadcasting Company burst onto the scene in the 1980s, it did things a little differently. The established Big Three networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC, all had their corporate headquarters firmly planted in New York City. But Fox, the ambitious newcomer, decided to base its main operations in Los Angeles, right in the heart of Hollywood. This was a clear statement. Fox was focused on entertainment programming from the very beginning, building its identity around edgy sitcoms and dramas that would appeal to a younger audience. More recently, the very definition of a flagship station has been tested. As large media companies buy and sell television stations, the traditional link between a network and its flagship can sometimes be broken. So, just like in the States, Canada's television networks are anchored by powerful flagship stations in its largest cities. But, Canada has this unique cultural landscape with two official languages, English and French. That means there are actually two parallel systems of broadcasting, each with its own set of flagship stations. For English-language television, the undisputed center of the universe is Toronto, Ontario. It's the biggest city in Canada, and honestly, the largest media market around. All the major English networks, CBC Television, CTV, and Global, have their most important stations located right there in Toronto. Now, for French-language television, the heart of broadcasting is Montreal, Quebec. Montreal is like the cultural capital for French-speaking Canada, and its media market is the largest for the French language. While Toronto and Montreal are the primary hubs, Vancouver, British Columbia, also plays a crucial role. As the largest city in Western Canada and the third largest media market, Vancouver serves as the Western flagship for the major English networks. This system lets Canadian networks cater to the diverse needs of their huge and varied population. It's a model designed to unite a geographically massive country through the shared medium of television. Here in the Philippines, the world of television is vibrant, competitive, and honestly super centralized. Just like New York is to the States and Toronto is to English Canada, Metro Manila is the undisputed heart of Philippine broadcasting. All of the country's major television networks have their headquarters and flagship stations right in this bustling metropolitan area. This is really where the magic happens. The biggest variety shows, the most dramatic teleseries, and the most watched national newscasts. They're all produced and broadcast from the studios of these flagship stations, reaching millions of homes across our islands. The major players in the Philippine television scene each have their own powerful flagship station in Quezon City, which has become the country's media capital. My home network, GMA Network, operates through its flagship station, DZBB-TV. Our main rival, ABS-CBN, historically broadcasted through its flagship, DWWX-TV. TV5, another big player, has its flagship Duet TV. These stations aren't just transmitters, they're sprawling complexes packed with state-of-the-art studios, newsrooms, and all the creative minds shaping Philippine culture. The Philippine system has some unique quirks you don't really see elsewhere. For instance, the idea of block timing is pretty common. This is where a production company buys a block of airtime from a network to air its own shows. A good example is when ABS-CBN, after losing its broadcast franchise, started buying airtime on other channels like A2Z, formerly Zoe TV, to broadcast its popular programs. Another interesting case is frequency sharing. When ABS-CBN's frequency became available, it was temporarily assigned to Advanced Media Broadcasting System, or AMBS, for its new channel, ALL-TV. All these situations show just how dynamic the Philippine media landscape is. Flagship stations aren't just about history and ownership, they're also about strategic partnerships, leasing agreements, and the constant evolution of broadcasting. Through it all, these Metro Manila stations remain the powerful hearts of Philippine television, telling our stories to the nation and to the world.